Yo, jeez. Hi, Miggy. Miguel. Miguel.
I can hear him go, ah, shit, they can't fucking hear me.
No. How can I not hear him? You can hear him?
No, I
can't. Unmute you. Andrew and I are unmuted, Miguel.
Oh, no.
Hi, Miguel. That's Miguel. That's Andrew. My name's Lee. Welcome to Fight Net Radio. Where do you want to start? What a effing week, Andrew.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to start with the hottest thing that's in boxing right now, right? It's what they're, it's up to you, Lee. You know how to fucking quarterback the show, but
all right, let's start. Let's start with Tuesday morning at 5 a.m. Naoe Inoue. I'll start with you, Miguel. Okay, you guys all thought I was completely insane. Miguel left.
Oh, jeez.
We'll start again. Second. Hi, Migs.
Oh.
Are you back? Ow! And dropped again. I'm recording this, so for the podcast people, this is completely hilarious. If you're watching the video, we're gonna start when Migs.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, finally.
Hi everyone, welcome to Fight Net Radio. Miguel Antonio Barragan. Do you respect the fact I roll the R's, Miguel? Every time.
I respect the fact that you tried to roll the R's.
Hey, you guys, I got to ask a question with the start that we had this morning. Did any of you guys...
that's Andrew Labouche speaking. That was Miguel at the beginning. My name's Lee Honish. All right, Tuesday, 5 a.m., Andrew.
Wait a minute. Lee, I had a question.
Yeah, go for it.
With the way the show started, this is for podcast guys. The way it was
podcast people, I'm going to shoot the video somewhere else. Yeah.
Did any of your guys' feed cut off the first 12 seconds of the fight?
Yes. So
oh, Lee, that happened. It happened to me. Fucking Miguel. These guys, they're at the corner. The ref is about to ring the bell. He's like walking in the middle. My pay-per-view just starts blinking. As soon as he goes to ring the bell, and it went ding, ding, it went black.
Oh, jeez, what the fuck? Showtime, come on, guys. Get on it.
That has never happened to me before. Main event, bell rings. I don't get to see the guys walk out and start the fight.
Actually, the live feed, I didn't pay for it, Andrew. Well, I'm a jerk. I admit it. VIPfrontrow.net. .nu now, I think, Gil. All right, let's rewind.
Tuesday. Okay.
Tuesday, 5 a.m.
All right.
Andrew and I were actually up and watching it live. Miguel slept in.
I did sleep in. It wasn't until like my alarm went off for work that I was like, okay, now I can. But mind you, I stayed away from social media. I just kept everything off. As soon as I pull it on, I immediately hit the rewind button to push back the programming, and then boom, it was on. So I wasn't too far off.
Were you watching the fight during work?
Did I just incriminate myself?
Listen to the show from work.
Good point. Yeah, I totally fucking did. Yeah.
You would have done it if you were at the job too. It doesn't matter.
By the way, Andrew actually has people
watching the fight.
Well, the funny part is Andrew called in late.
Yeah, I just went in late. Fuck it. Traffic all the way to work, Lee.
Oh, for sure.
When you leave your house at 6 a.m, from Tracy, California, trying to get to, I think I was going to Sausalito that day. About 100 miles, maybe. 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours to get to work that day.
According to your story.
That's California, all right.
Yeah.
No,
No. The fight started at 5 a.m. We got out of there a little bit early, right? In a way, got me out a little bit early. 6 a.m. I was on the road. 2.5 hours, bro. It fucking just trapped.
Andrew and Miguel.
Yes.
Who did Lee say was the pound for pound king? Andrew?
I don't know.
You said in a way, and on Tuesday morning,
and you guys busted my hump. You busted my hump, Andrew.
Because it wasn't until Saturday when we would know the real answer to that question. Yeah, on Tuesday at 6 a.m., in a way has a very strong argument. I agree with you. I agree with you.
Well, and
still have
we were talking about it during the fight. I go, he can go to lightweight. He's a big dude. He's a really big dude. He won every freaking round, Miguel. I mean, it was shocking how good he was.
It's a pattern. Miguel, I'll let you go right now. I'm going to be a dick. It's a pattern that we're seeing. It's a pattern we're seeing a lot when PBC are matched with guys out of the PBC. Go ahead, Miguel. On to you.
Well, that was, I mean, I was going to go on that. It's like 0-2 for PBC this week, right? I mean, that's pretty much how shit went down. It's a glaring indication of how good PBC is of hyping these dudes up. We fall for it. We want to believe it, right? We see guys like Fulton and guys like Spence, and we're like, we want to fucking believe it. And I know we'll get to the Spence fight and Crawford later on, but regarding, Inoue and fucking Fulton, it's crazy. Literally the 7th round, which is the fight that I thought, or the round that I thought Fulton was actually doing his best. Didn't quite win it yet, but it seemed like he was starting to turn the tide. And then the 8th comes around, and that fucking tsunami of a fucking monster in Inoue comes in and ends the fucking fight in that 8th. So this is precisely that. It's like, okay, maybe these PBC dudes have something, and then pow, maybe they don't.
Andrew, joining us on the phone. I'm the blimp. Bob. Hi, guys. What did I tell you about Inoue? Don't sleep on Inoue.
You're amazing for getting to Japan, Bob. You're very. Did
I tell you I was on a blimp?
96 years old.
That's how I sent all those goddamn Australians home too. Blimps. Blimps are the way to go. I think that's hilarious.
I couldn't believe Bob was there, though. You guys see Bob in the ring after
made
that fight?
it to Japan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw him. Yeah.
What a beast.
He is. He really is. No one liked him.
I was high as a kite.
There was
times, Andrew. I was high.
You have to be. At 96 years old, I don't know how you're doing a 22-hour flight. I don't even know what the time is to Japan.
It's 8 hours.
I'm sure he has a sweet ass ride, of course, right? It makes it as comfortable as it possibly can.
He probably took a private, right?
But Miguel, there's sometimes the owners of American sports, like I'd say Al Davis, couldn't make the Raiders game in Chicago or Kansas City. That's like in America, you know what I mean? We're talking about a flight, 3 hours long. This guy's 96 years old showing up in Japan for his guy. Like, hey, this is my guy. Thumbs up.
I took a blimp, Andrew.
He's taking
a Zeppelin, a fucking Zeppelin, one of those Zeppelin blimps.
Yes, for sure. Oh my God. Can I just say, between Bob and Top Rank, Inoue, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. He can go to lightweight and compete.
They would have had they would have been popping champagne bottles for reals if they would have kept their hands on the other. But I'll start with Inoue. Yes, he looked good, Lee. I was shocked on how he shut out Fulton. Very, very surprising on that. I expected Fulton to do and look a little bit better in this fight. He just looked like a deer in headlights for the most part. So yes, on Tuesday at 6 a.m., there was a good argument that we were looking at a new pound for pound king in boxing from Japan. So that was on Tuesday, and then Saturday came.
Okay,
and
so let's move to
Inoue
Saturday for the big fight.
tomorrow. No one will be talking about Inoue. Everyone will be talking about what they've seen in Las Vegas on Saturday night.
Well, Sanisa fought on Saturday. Miguel, did
Friday.
you watch
Friday.
the fight?
It was Friday.
Friday.
I absolutely did not.
Friday, right?
On
No,
Monday, there would be no, I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking with you guys. Go ahead.
You guys are hilarious.
no, but I did not watch that fight because if Friday was, the day of the weigh-in, so I spent all day out about downtown Salt Lake City.
Won.
Oh, I know, and it was a total
Shout
shout
out
to
to Sanisa, fan of the show and subscriber.
I like the call out. I like the call out her and the next champion did after the fight. She looks like there's real bad blood there. I don't know the real backstory to it, but both girls definitely didn't look. It looked like she was a little irritated that she was there to call her out during her fight. So
she's
that might
lucky
be.
She didn't get punched in the face.
Yeah, I think she was kind of. Yeah, she's kind of. I think one girl's maybe she was acting like she is the pretty girl of the division, and she's gonna walk through her. So, and there might be a little golden boy blood there because didn't she leave the company?
Yeah. Zanisa was with Golden Boy first. Yep.
Yeah, and I think they have this other girl, so there might be a chip on the shoulder there. It might be a good fight. Something to watch. But that's all I got. That's all I got, Lee. Moving on to Saturday night. Saturday night.
All right, let's go. Let's go. And you watched the whole pay-per-view card.
No, I watched Nonito up. You know what? I got Nonito in the third round. I felt it wasn't good, man. It wasn't good. Look, I know Nonito said he's a warrior. He still feels good. Damn it. He fucking headbutts, elbows. I don't give a shit what did it. The champ looked just as bad as Nonito did after the fight. So he still does have hands. Nonito's a grandfather or a father I would never want to mess with still. But his days as a professional boxer need to come to an end. Al Heyman needs to stop using him. His timing was off.
It hurts me to watch him. It hurts me to watch him.
Yeah. His timing
really does. It really I like Nonito, right? Like he's been on the show. It really hurts me to watch Nonito.
He'll never and I might be talking out of turn here. I don't know. He might not ever get the respect that he deserves on what he was to boxing or how special he was. Because I will always say I think he had the greatest left hook I've ever seen. Not speaking for everyone, speaking on what I've seen in that ring. And Chavez is my greatest fighter of all time. That was his favorite punch. I don't think it was as good as Nonito when Nonito was at his peak. The opposition that he faced and the guys he was knocking out, single shots, multi-winner, and runner-up for knockout of the year.
Nonito has the brother in the Bay, right?
Yeah, they're both
Glenn.
in the Bay.
Yeah, Glenn.
Yeah. Glenn.
Yep.
Oh, when's the last time you ran into him, Andrew?
Oh,
or is it still 7-Eleven?
Listen, see, you say you like the guy, and then you start chopping down his family. It's really weird. Last night, I'm trying to describe to Junior how great he once was. You got to move on, Nonito. When it comes down to that, that punch would have landed. You don't understand. This guy, 10 years ago, he would have cleaned that guy's class because all of them were right there, Lee. He had the punt, the left hook was there. He's not landing it, and his head movement, his defense is gone. He's starting to shake after almost every shot. You see his legs start giving. Yeah. I thought the guy was going to take him out a few times.
Same problem with me. Same. I got to be perfectly honest. From the amount of head blows I've taken, right? My left hand shakes. Like, you got to know that's the early sign for Alzheimer's.
Whatever. I'm not a fucking doctor, so
I'm just telling you.
well,
Personal experience. Well, I just wish Nonito would stop. All right. Let's talk about it, shall we? Crawford.
Well, that wasn't the co-main event. The co-main event was Cruz, Isaac Cruz, and Giovanni Cabrera.
All right. What did we think of Cruz?
Miguel? Well, yeah.
Let's start with Miguel this time.
I haven't got around to watching the undercard. The first thing I watched was after I got to the, I ordered the thing and I DVR'd it basically. So as soon as after the UFC card ended, I went straight back to this place I'm staying at, and then I pulled up the main event and then fucking fell asleep. So I haven't got around. I know the results.
Miguel, for the record, yes. Miguel, who won UFC?
Justin Gaethje. It was right high kick.
Gaethje got 2 out of 3.
It was a magnificent. No, the first time it was what's the name? The first time it was Dustin. So we might have a trilogy. We might. I'm not sure, but it was quite the spectacular card. Which, by the way, I got there like as soon as I could. Right. Me and my homie, we got there like pretty quick, and we sat hella fucking
BFF.
close.
Thank you.
But it's my BFF anyway. Regardless.
God damn.
But we got hella close seats, and then eventually we got booted back to our seats. But it was still cool for basically the entire prelims. We managed to sit hella close, like easily like $700 or $800 tickets, like seats. I mean, is where we sat.
That was nice. The picture you sent, that was nice. That was a nice
Miguel,
shot.
here's the gimmick, right? So I've gone to a lot of fights, right? Like I will buy the cheapest seats, sit on the ring post, right on the corner. Nobody will pay $1,000 or $2,000 for cage, like on the angle. The angle is where it's at.
Sit behind the screen, Miguel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we didn't think about that. We just basically like looked on Ticketmaster to see which tickets were probably still sold to try to find them. But ultimately, we did get booted. And then no, I mean, it's already too late. It's not like I'm going to rat these dudes out. But those 2 dudes sitting next to us were doing the exact same thing. And those lucky sons of bitches stayed the whole night there. So I was like, God damn it, those guys. But we got booted. I felt butthurt. I wanted to like fucking rat them out, but it didn't turn out that way. But anyway, yeah. Once we were done with that, drove back and I caught the main event. So I didn't get to catch Donito and his sad moments. I didn't get to catch Cruz and his opponent. So I DVR'd it. So I'm gonna catch it, of course.
Let me fill you in.
Yeah, please.
Andrew, go for broke.
All right, let me fill you in. I still don't like him.
Oh, damn it. He didn't convince you at all? Jesus Christ.
No, look. Look, Isaac Cruz, he's got a lot of heart. I don't know his skills. He lacks skills a lot. I'm kind of he's being hyped up a little bit too much for what he's giving us in the ring. And I've seen the kid a few times. The scorecards were very close, and I knew they were. I thought Giovanni dropped the ball in the sense that he didn't box enough. Freddie Roach really fucked this kid up. Like in the 4th round. For some reason, I don't know if someone bought Freddie off or what, but Freddie starts telling this guy, you need to stand your ground and take the fight to him. And it changes everything. The kid was doing fine just boxing. The guy couldn't touch him. Miguel, he jumped off of the canvas so many times. Like literally, his feet aren't on the ground. He's a really good
boxer, Andrew. I really think, technically speaking, he's a great boxer.
It was bad, Lee. He missed so many punches. He was missing. Now he's a little fire plug. He doesn't stop coming. He's constantly jumping and throwing blows. But it's like, dude, this is garbage. What is going on here? And Giovanni, all he had to do was box. And he was. Look, the scorecards are close. 115, 113, and then 114, 113 both ways. It's a split decision, and the split decision's close. And I'll tell you why it was. The crowd was out of the fight. They all loved Isaac in the beginning, but he missed so many punches. He doesn't look dominant. He kind of looks like the small guy trying to fucking land a shot, and the crowd's not cheering. They're not cheering, and all Giovanni had to do was keep punching and boxing, and I think he would have won this fight easily. But he doesn't. because his coach keeps telling him to stay inside and fight him and hold your ground. I have no idea why, because that was Cruz's only chance to win, is if the other guy stands his ground. Really weird. And we have to take the keys from Nonito. We definitely got to take the keys from Freddie. Freddie, I don't even know. Man,
Freddie has Nonito as well, right?
No, I don't think so.
I think he had him. He had him for a while when he had Manny.
He had him for a while, right?
Yeah, but not anymore. I mean, so here's the thing. But so how? So where do you think Cruz would stand, though? I mean, considering the news on, maybe we'll talk about it about Haney going up to 140, right? And then Loma probably still going to be there, depending on what happens with Loma. But everybody else at 135, the Cambosos and the Gervonta and stuff. Like, does Cruz not match up to any one of those dudes?
Because the PBC, and I shouldn't even say that. I should say Al Heyman and Floyd. If Floyd's still running his career, believe that Tank Davis is now a pay-per-view star. I think they're running that fight back no matter what.
I think Logan talked about it. So Mayweather is broke.
When you say Logan, are we talking a reporter or Logan Paul?
Logan Paul. And he said point blank, the reason he's taking these fights is because he's broke, right? So if Mayweather's broke, tell me that he's not, well, we'll jump to it, but Crawford looks enticing.
As far as like signing potentially Crawford?
Yeah. If you're Mayweather, who's the most desirable person in boxing right now, right?
Sure.
And
he was ringside too. If I'm not mistaken, Floyd was ringside too.
Well, I think that was more gunning for Spence. Look, if you guys watched the 24/7, Spence talked about not beating up Floyd, but sparring Floyd, and that Floyd called him a bitch, and he was like, "Well, I told Floyd, turn off."
He is a bitch, Andrew. What we discovered on Saturday is that Spence is a bitch.
No, hey Lee, that's not what you were saying before the thing. Come on, his heart showed up. His heart showed up. You got to give the young man that. Now, nothing else showed up.
For a guy with a broken jaw. All right, so let's break it down. Terrence Crawford beat Errol Spence. Well, so my point, Andrew, for a guy with a broken jaw, strong performance.
Yeah, I'm not going to go there this morning with the whole, he's broken from the beginning. Look at this guy has won 3 titles since that car accident. Everyone in the media called him the truth. Everyone put him on the pound for pound ranking. He's undefeated at 28-0-22 stepping into this ring. I'm not doing that to Crawford. Crawford waited too long for us to say. Now, Lee, do I agree with you that the car accident affected?
I think the car accident hurt him. He got knocked down twice.
Right. Listen to me,
bro.
Listen to me.
Before he got stopped.
Hey, Lee, don't also underestimate what the damage was that the detached retina had to him. I'll tell you right now.
For sure.
If he couldn't stop, if he couldn't stop Terrence Crawford's left hand or right hook, what would he done with Manny fucking Pacquiao? Do you know how lucky Floyd is? Manny didn't fight Spence when Ugas did. I'm telling you right now, Manny would have knocked Spence the fuck out.
Well, that's kind of the point of this is really the PBC is completely crumbling, right?
It seemed like he couldn't stop the punches last night. He couldn't see him. He wasn't reacting. We knew he was a pocket boxer. We talked about it, that he really wasn't on his toes. The guy kind of catches and counters, and he takes what you got and he delivers back. That's what Spence has always been. But he breaks you down, right? That was the whole thing. His size, his jab, he breaks you down. You don't want to play the catch game with Terrence Crawford. I've never seen, and it's because they switched his stance, a fighter that is so dominant on his arsenal with his jab, his hooks, his body shot, everything works for Terrence Crawford. There's no flaws in his offense. His jab is as strong as his straight left. His hook is as strong as his jab. Where's the weak side? You miss something, you're getting hurt. There is no pit-pat bullshit when you're talking about Terrence Crawford. He knows angles. He knows how to set it. You guys, for what the stakes were set at last night, they said this was Hearns, Leonard. They talked about the four kings. They talked about the best of the best. This is legacy. I've never seen someone pitch a shutout the way that he pitched a shutout yesterday. I know
every single round, Andrew.
And Lee, on one of the rounds, he won it by 3 points. On the other round, he won it by 2 points. Like, he's not just winning rounds by, oh, yeah, that was a great boxing. Man, that was some great boxing there. He beat out of that guy.
Oh, you're a beast, Andrew. You're a beast.
I waited. Hey, I waited too long.
Let Miguel give his comments. Miguel, what did you think?
Well, it was definitely a lot more one-sided than I would have thought. You know, we most anticipated that, you know, Spence was going to do a lot more than what he did. Now, I'm already seeing the excuses online, right? I'm already seeing it all over Twitter, talking about how drained he was and how, you know, dehydrated he was, whatever the fuck. He signed the contract, right?
I saw that.
Ultimately, he signed the contract, but whether we put these, you know, take these factors into account or not, the bottom line is he looked like shit. Now, was it the draining or was it because Crawford made him look like shit? You know, that's we want to give. We don't want to take away anything from Crawford's victory because, you know, going back to years that we have like said that this fight, these guys were circling one another, and of course, us on the outside don't know the inside story. Who was trying to make the fight happen? Who wasn't trying to make the fight happen? As time went on, it became more and more apparent that it was Crawford who was trying to push for the fight to happen, and, you know, Spence kind of like stalling basically. And last night kind of proved it. Really, it's like, okay, this is why Spence didn't want to fight that motherfucker for the longest time. Like, he knew he was gonna get his ass handed to him, right? So we can go that route of saying like, look, he looked, you know, maybe he was drained, whatever the fuck, but Spence looked like shit. Spence looked like fucking crap. He was flat-footed as fuck. I mean, not that he's on his toes, but it looked like his punches had zero power. It looked like he had zero fucking strength. He was throwing, and Crawford, and he took a fucking ass whooping, dude. And it's just like, goddamn, we weren't expecting it to be this fucking one-sided. Now, again, we don't want to go that route as far as like making excuses, because the bottom line is Crawford came in and he came ready. Now, to kind of touch on what Andrew was mentioning earlier, did Bob kind of drop the ball by letting you know, Crawford go from Top Rank? You know, because this would have been yet another tally for fucking Top Rank over PBC.
He's the single.
Well, last night he proved he wasn't. Last night he proved he was a fucking home run hitter. We saw it. He finished the guy, and I mean, mind you, we're talking earlier this week, right, Tuesday, about Inoue being the number one pound for pound at that point, by waiting until Saturday to see who the fuck it was. Had Spence won, would we still be talking about Spence as being the number one pound for pound, or would we still consider, you know, Inoue? But the fact that, you know, somebody like Crawford won, who was the lineal champion in 2 weight classes before, and then disputed in 2. Good Lord. It's like, goddamn, the's no fucking way we can't say that he's not number one pound for pound now.
Get back to me.
Wait, here's my point. Here's my point. Naoi's done 4 weight classes. Like, he's on a Manny Pacquiao tear.
Hey, as Teddy Atlas would say, Teddy shits bigger turds than what Inoue weighs. Back to you, Andrew.
Actually, Miguel, my point, what I was arguing with Andrew on Tuesday morning was Naoe can go to welter.
Yeah, no, he can't.
He can't. I don't think he can go to welter.
Dude.
Lee, listen to me. No, I'm going to get at these Spence fucking fans real fast with all this bullshit. Now, all of a sudden, the guy's weight drained. He should have been one. This dude took a pound-for-pound ranking after the car accident, winning 3 titles. No one said, oh, man, he looks weight drained and done. Everyone, oh, he's the truth. Oh, he's pound for pound. All right? In 2022, he beats Danny Ugas. Nobody said, oh, man, in that performance, He looked terrible. He should move up. Oh, he shouldn't even fight Spence. Nobody's saying that. Don't start with the bullshit now that he's weight drained and this wasn't right. One, we have to blame him. We have to blame Al Heyman. I'm sorry.
The same Deontay Wilder.
You tried the long way. You tried the long game.
I honestly think it's the
God.
same Deontay. No, I'm not trying to stop you. I think it's the same Deontay Wilder crowd, right? Like they're just
that is the PBC fan base. So yeah, maybe.
Yes, right?
Yeah. Well, but here's the thing though. Like, you don't think that Spence's punches look weak? Like, compared to how he had hit before,
he was on the canvas in under 6 minutes. He was on the canvas. Do you know how life altering that is? The guy had never been on the canvas before. He's in the biggest fight of his life. In 6 minutes, under 6 minutes, you're down. You're looking up, and it's Terrence fucking Crawford staring at you. But
do you think he got cold? You don't think he got cold? Or anything
bro, he got nervous. He got nervous. In the third round, he comes out like, fuck it. Dogs are out, or however they say. Here comes the smoke. Bam! He throws a right hand. First thing he does, right hand, gets him on the ropes. He tries to take it to him. Terrence, one of the best.
Andrew, isn't that the same
come on,
thing?
That's what the show's going to be. Fuck, man.
Oh, wow. But my point is, isn't that kind of Deontay too?
Oh,
right?
My God.
Right?
You're totally right. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, no, Deontay
It's the weight of my costume. It's the blah, 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 blah. Like, fuck you guys. Fuck all of you. Right?
I don't know. It seemed, I don't want to go that route because I want to give Crawford all the credit in the world, but it just seemed like it was so. His reflexes were slow. Yeah, maybe it was the eye. I'm talking about Spence. The power in his punches weren't shit. Dude, Crawford looked like the stronger guy in the ring. He would push Spence off of him. And Spence is a natural welterweight. You were talking about fucking Crawford, who has fought at 135 and 140, and he's over here literally shoving. Like, I was a couple of times where Spence almost tried to like come in and use his elbow sort of to like push Crawford off.
He's a wrestler,
and fucking Crawford stand.
Huh? He's a wrestler, and you should know about that. Yeah. He's a wrestler.
Yeah.
But he's naturally,
Miguel,
but he's naturally a smaller wrestler, still nonetheless.
Probably,
and he's strong, but he's strong as fuck, and he knows how to push off angles, dude. If he's a wrestler, he'll know how to shove a guy who doesn't know how angles on wrestling. Correct? He has an advantage.
100,
and you are totally,
Andrew. 100.
You are totally right. Seeing that, because I seen it too, and I was like, damn. He pushed around fucking Sean Porter, who is the biggest, most athletic welterweights of this era. He pushed him around, and now you're shoving the guy they said that was his advantage, was he's bigger. No, he's not. He's not doing it. Dude, the counter punching, I've never seen someone get so much power, leverage off of their inside counter shots. Did you guys see the first combo that dropped Spence, the uppercut right hook?
Round, right?
Second round. Second round. Yeah, second round, dude. Uppercut hook in the inside, 6 inches, drops him. Spence actually hit him. I thought it was Crawford that got the worst of the shot. He's on the ground. It's like, what? He did the same thing to Porter. If you watch the 10th round, it's a very inside jab that gets him. Listen to me. The guy's knocked out 11 straight guys. 11. All right? You know winning his title? Victor Postal, undefeated. Julius Ndongu, undefeated. Jeff Horn, undefeated. Earl Spence, undefeated. We've never seen it. We've never seen someone go undisputed, beating nothing but undefeated fighters. Dude, Victor Postal beat Lucas Matisse. Lucas Matisse was considered the dog at 150, 140. The big guy no one wanted to face. Postal knocked his ass out. Terrence Crawford beats Postal for the WBC title. Julius Ndongu beats Ricky Burns, and the other guy, I don't know his name, but I remember they were both at their home. Ndongu is an African fighter. You know those guys always get burned on the cards, but somehow this guy went to 2 champions' backyards and beat them, I believe, on the cards, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was on the cards, or you got to look that up. He still
it was an English dude. It was an English guy. I forgot who the fuck it was, but it was an English dude. Yeah.
Yeah, so he wins both fights. Crawford faces him, knocks him out in fucking 3 rounds. It's not even exciting. HBO made this thing look there. Ndongu went to 2 backyards, blah blah blah, wipes him out. Jeff Horn beats fucking Manny Pacquiao, and I don't care how it happened. He's undefeated. He's the WBO welterweight champion that has a significant win over one of the greatest fighters of this era. Crawford goes there and ices the fucking dude. Then Spence, he's the truth. He's ranked top 3, top 4. He's ranked. There was a time when they ranked Errol Spence over Crawford at welterweight, at fucking welterweight. So this guy is all of that. He smokes him. No, we've never seen it. No, it's time to start saying Crawford versus all-time greats. It's not the fucking fact that he's an all-time great now. It's a fact that where do you have him at welterweight? When you match him up, it's the Ring magazine. When the guy crosses over, where would he have placed against the other ones? Now Terrence Crawford can sit at the bar and have that argument. A Terrence Crawford fan now has that argument because, hey, here's another one. I got one more for you guys. I text you guys this and I put it on there. He runs Manny Pacquiao and Mikey Garcia out of Top Rank. Literally runs them out. Do your homework. You guys will all see Top Rank said it multiple times. They did not want to fight Terrence Crawford. He then goes to the welterweight division and puts a whole motherfucking stable on watch. All of a sudden, all of them don't. Crawford, Thurman, Porter, Garcia, Spence. You guys are all suckers. You guys all started with this bullshit. It's strap season. He's on the wrong side of the road. I fight for Al Heyman. You guys all started with that bullshit. He put all of you guys on fucking Queer Street. That is the most dominant fucking fighter of our era is Terrence Crawford. It's not that he's an all-time legend. It's where he ranks on that all-time legend record now. He's there.
And I'll take it even a step further. I will take it even a step further right now. I would much rather, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does this because he's going to continue to terrorize PBC. He moves up to 154 and goes after the Charlo for the undisputed title at 154. After, Charlo fucking loses probably to fucking Canelo, comes back down. Well, the one that's at 154, whichever one that one is.
Well,
he goes up, he comes back down, he leapfrogs Tim Tszyu, unfortunately, and we have ourselves again undisputed versus undisputed, and we get to see it at that point, and he continues to terrorize PBC.
Hey, and I like what you're saying. If I'm Terrence, though, I'm gonna let Charlo go do 2 fights. I want him to take on Canelo, lose that fight, get him a little soft, bring his ass fight and have him fight Tszyu. Miguel, if Tszyu wins that fight, it's another undefeated champion on his record, and we ain't never seen someone go through 5 undefeated champions. 5? Tszyu will be so big in Australia if he gets those fucking 4 titles around his belt.
Inouye's gonna get it first, Andrew.
He might lead. He's got to make some big noise though, and unfortunately, the Fulton.
He's got to be undisputed, right? Right. No,
he needs America. Inoue needs America. Fighting in Japan at 5 a.m. in the morning on a Tuesday is not going to get it done.
Miguel, you and I have both seen him in Las Vegas, correct?
They got to bring him.
Oh, it's in Inoue? Yeah. No. But that's not enough. That's not enough. That is it has to be. Yeah.
So you're saying like MGM or a big arena?
Yeah. I mean, even maybe not necessarily a big arena, but I mean, because I think let me see. So the MGM holds about 15,000 for like a fight. Mandalay Bay about 17,000, T-Mobile about 20. So I think Thomas and Mack about 20 as well. I'm not sure. What
so if one of those Inoue does Thomas and Mack, is he the beast?
No. I mean, again, who is he fighting? We have to figure out who the fuck he's fighting first, because it has to be significant. It can't just be coming in.
There's nothing left at this weight class, right?
Well, there's a couple of more champions. I mean, there's like, I think one other dude, the Filipino dude, or Thailand. I'm not sure where the hell the guy's from, but he has one more champion who's got 2 belts, and then before he unifies the weight class there.
I'm gonna make the fight at T-Mac for
He's
you,
got
Miguel.
Luis Neri is 35-1-27. You know, that's a he needs Mexicans.
Killed
Mhm.
by
Say.
Nailway. He will get killed, Andrew.
You just said who's there to fight, and I'm saying he needs Mexicans. There's a Mexican there with a very good record, ex-champ. Look, he moves up in weight. He's got to face Brandon Figueroa. Is the champion right now at featherweight. Brandon Figueroa is like 6 foot tall, though. And I'm not saying that means he's gonna win, but man, he's gonna be looking like Isaac Cruz coming off the ground to hit that guy. Yeah, and while I say that, Figueroa fights a lot on the inside, so he probably smokes his ass. You're right, Lee. There's weight division number 5. Right? Miguel,
He's a beast. He's a
No. Yeah,
beast.
it's wide open for him. It's so wide open for him. If he can fucking just pull the trigger and beat Crawford to the punch, I guess we can say that would be it, man. It's so wide open for him, I'm sure.
No.
Well, and let's jump back to welterweight for a second. Can Crawford go all the way to mid? Question mark?
No, you guys. I believe Crawford. He waits for the junior middleweight for Zoo and Charlo. But you guys, there's a dude that won undisputed in 2 weight divisions right under him. Why the fuck can't Telefimo and him make one of the greatest fights of all time? Telefimo, if he can move up and have a great fight, a good fight show at welterweight, I see Terrence Crawford and Lopez working together, Top Rank, ESPN. There's all a connection there. I don't know what his contract is with Al Heyman, if it's fight by fight or if it's a multi-fight deal. But I'm looking at a Telefimo Lopez. Lopez loves money. Terrence Crawford's probably the guy that with the biggest money right now in the welterweight division.
Oh, and we're probably forgetting something, and we might have to talk about this now because I did read this earlier this morning. I saw it. I mean, I didn't see it last night when it happened, but Spence did say he intends to exercise the rematch clause. So he did mention that last night. I know, but legally it's there. So we're probably jumping the gun with talking about moving up in weight class and whatnot. So, and maybe he will, but it's gonna be a while before these guys fight anybody else, I guess.
No, wait. That clause even activated if you don't go 12 rounds?
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was just any guy who loses has the right to exercise it. I thought that's what it was. I didn't know if there was a specific disclaimer.
If you get knocked out, there was no rematch, man. Get the fuck come on. This guy lost his fight. It's 9 rounds to zip. His network, the fucking place that had his contract, had him winning 1 round. 1. That's embarrassing if they get to run this back and he gets another, 8 million, 12 for what? What did you prove in the first fight? Now we're going to sit here and talk about, excuse after excuse, man. You showed up. You punched your ticket. He got knocked out. There is no reason to run that back. That's an embarrassment.
It was completely strong.
I mean, no reason to run it back. Agreed, but legally it's there. I mean, that's what stopped Fury from fighting someone else. Before that 3rd fight with fucking with Wilder. We all were like, Wilder, if you're listening, don't go for that 3rd fucking fight. And of course, it ended up being worse for him, right? So, hey, Spence, if you're listening, dude, don't exercise that damn rematch clause, man. Like, let it go, bro. Just let it fucking go.
Well, that's kind of the answer, Miguel, right? Like, so PBC is completely eroding around our ears.
No, yeah.
I don't know how much longer these guys are going to stay afloat, especially, I mean, again, another, they're going to have to basically put all of their weight on who fucking Gervonta,
Who's left? Gervonta?
Yeah,
and I don't
as far
know,
as superstars.
Actually, I think he's only Al Heyman. I
think it's TMT.
Oh, really?
With his whatchamacallit, Garcia Ryan fight, was it PBC pay-per-view or just Showtime?
Good question. I'm gonna have to look back. Well, here's the thing though. It has to be PBC because I don't think Showtime has a contract with anybody else. I know DAZN has a contract with both. Who is it? Fucking Golden Boy and Matchroom. I know that for sure, and of course ESPN with Top Rank. But as far as I can remember, Showtime only has PBC.
Because remember, he wasn't with Floyd on that fight, but Floyd was there, and then he kind of puts out a tweet like he might still be working with them. So I don't really know the relationship. But going into that fight, he was not a Floyd fighter. I thought he was just with Showtime. But maybe I'm wrong.
They're so screwed, Andrew.
I thought it was PBC because I didn't know that Showtime showed anybody else's fucking fights other than PBC.
As I look on the press conference thing, no, it just says Garcia, them live on pay-per-view. Showtime. Yeah, I don't know if he's actually... Oh, and then that one says Premier Boxing. All right, so there are both of them that say...
PBC.
No, and here's another one with it out. So I really don't know, you guys. I don't know if he signed under PBC. Anyways, we know his connection.
What's left for PBC?
Yes, that's the only thing he has
Miguel?
going for right now.
I'll go with Miguel. What's left for PBC?
I mean, Gervonta, as far as like superstars go, there's still a little bit of candle left in fucking Wilder, as a heavyweight. I'm talking about like superstars. Yeah, they still have the 154 pounder right in Charlo, but I mean, at the level that where we saw, Spence and fucking Wilder and Gervonta, I don't think wasn't that Charlo is going to bring in pay-per-view numbers like those. So yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, I don't know. I would have to pull up their roster right now to kind of take a look at it, but they're really running out, burning the candle on both ends, I guess, man, because they're running out real fast.
I know you're gonna go for broke, Andrew. So go for broke.
With the fact that Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, and Ryan Garcia all moved to 140, Tank Davis's options at 135 are becoming really slim. Shakur Stevenson, works with ESPN Top Rank. I don't know if they would do a fight with Davis if they don't have to, because we know Davis is going to try to dictate everything on the fucking negotiation side, and I just don't know if Bob Arum will do that. So his options are becoming really slim at 135.
Wouldn't that be to his benefit though?
I own the lightweight division.
Wouldn't that be to Tank's benefit, knowing that he has fewer guys to fight? Because I mean, that's pretty much what the fucking Floyd is trying to do for him: get him the best fights as possible with the least risk as possible. And if he can do that at 135, then that's basically Gervonta's division to take.
At the money that he's going to be demanding now, no, I think he needs a dance partner, and unfortunately, 3 dance partners just left the floor. That's a lot, bro. You have 3. Your top notches leave the dance floor one time. The slimmings came really low now. So, and not everyone's generating 1.4 million. I still believe Ryan had a lot more to do to that than he's getting credit for from Davis and them side. And they're going to find that out in his next fight if it's against a freaking Isaac Cruz. Do I think the PBC is going to show up for him? Yes. Davis fans? Yes. Does that mean he's going to get anything near 1.4 million? Fuck no. No, sir. And unfortunately, I don't know. I just don't buy into the Isaac Cruz's fight strategy. It's really weak. It really makes he's just, there's no skill there. It's all power. It's all heart. I give him that. But man, he was looking sloppy. Oh, check this out, dude. Headbutts, low blows. He was warned so many times. You got to remember, he's the star of the fight. It is not Giovanni Cabrera with 8 knockouts and 20-something. It's not that guy. It was Isaac Cruz that's pushing this ticket, yet they had to deduct a point from him because he would not stop fouling. Dude, he headbutted the guy like 5 times in a row. He literally, because he's so small, it was like, boing, 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 boing. He was under his chin, and he just kept bouncing, hitting the dude with his head. He did that numerous times, and when the ref was like, that's it, I got to take a point. But it was bullshit. It was like, bro, stop getting. Why is he getting so mad? Well, because he looks silly. He's punching at air. He's literally he can't touch the guy. Why the fuck Freddie Roach ever told his fighter to stand and trade with them. It's just, it was like he almost got paid off. Al made that call. What the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? I told you, you guys weren't winning this fight. It was just really weird. So, shout out to Cabrera. Might want to check your head trainer. Don't know if he gave you the best game plan to win that fight. I know Freddie's legendary, but he's also legendary for a reason. Fucking old. So, check that. And then in the main event, man, still something, thing of beauty. It was a thing of beauty. And what they have left, Lee, I have no idea. Look, they're going to have Charlo fight fucking Canelo. I think, hey, listen. Lee, did you watch the Caleb Plant? Did you watch Caleb Plant slap down?
Oh, yes.
Lee.
Yes.
Did you? Oh, my God, Lee, please stay with me.
Yes.
Well, no.
I'm with you, Andrew. I'm with you.
With you. So I think Caleb is a complete doof.
Did you watch what he did to Charlo, though? Did you see it?
Yes. He's
right, so
making a fight.
That was a pretty heavy slap, though, dude. I don't know, man. Hey, they said Charlo tweeted something about his wife. That's what I read on comments. I haven't confirmed it. I haven't seen a report out there on why that slap happened, except what is on the comments. And rumor is out there that over a tweet about a wife. I don't know. He Will Smith his ass, though, pretty good. There was no.
Well, at least his wife isn't fucking Jada, so I think that's worth it. As long as his wife ain't gonna make a fool out of his ass, I think it was well worth the slap because he pulled off that same slap against fucking Canelo. The Canelo dodged and countered and shit, right? I remember that, and then he ended up cracking him with the sunglasses or something. But he tried to pull one of those things off again, and the thing is, like, god damn it, I hate to to fucking point this out, but Jesus Christ, when you get slapped like that, dude, it did not look like Charlo was that pissed either. Like it just didn't do anything for him. Like he got fucking punked. It looked so bad.
The street level, yes, Charlo would have had his street cred taken that day. No, nobody gets slapped that hard and doesn't even fucking flinch, bro. He didn't even flinch. He didn't even dude, he doesn't react. It's like he looked at his brother and was like, I'm good. Like, no, you're not good. He just slapped the fuck out of you. You need to do something. Right. He's got your balls in his back pocket right now, bro. Go get your balls back.
Yeah, your bitch guard just got pulled, yo. You got to do something. Fuck.
Yeah, it was terrible. And listen, the reaction time, that was terrible. You've been out of the ring for 2 years. You ain't fought. Guy fucking just mollywops you. You had no response, no defense. It's what his brother's gonna say. His brother is supposed to go 14 pounds after a year and I don't know how many months, whatever the fuck these guys stay out for nowadays. He hasn't fought in over a year and a half or some shit. He's supposed to go up 14 pounds and take on one of the best counterpunchers in the game. Not the best, because the best is sitting at 147 right now, but one of the best in the game. And Saul Alvarez, you're supposed to take on one of the best counterpunchers in the game, and he doesn't have a weight clause on him. He can be 185 that night. All right, we'll see how that works out for you.
Yeah. Yeah, talk about counter. Jesus Christ, not to go back to fucking Spence and Crawford, but Jesus, that uppercut / hook. That because like there were a couple of times where I was watching the fight and I'm like, okay, this round looks good for Spence. He's pushing, Crawford back. He's putting him against the ropes, and then he fucking counters like, oh goddamn, he didn't even see that shit coming. Like Jesus Christ, the reflexes, the speed that he was able to get. It wasn't just the fact that he was like had his back up against the ropes and basically letting Spence throw some hands and basically taking the punches, but he was making him pay for that shit too. He's like, all right, you're gonna push me back, you're gonna put me against the ropes. Like, all right, I'm gonna make you pay for this fucking shot. So yeah, just to go back to to Crawford real quick with that counter punching. Good lord,
Miguel. Yeah. What did Pop say?
He knew that I was at the UFC card, so he wasn't texting me at all to not give me any spoilers. So we haven't talked about it yet. But I mean, like here's the thing. I predicted that Jack, huh?
Was he jacked up for the fight?
Oh yeah, he hella was. Yeah, I mean, because he, I told him I was going to order, right? And he's like, all right, cool. And generally speaking, we pull it up on VIP. Shout out to VIP. And then we don't really need to do all that shit. But considering the circumstances, I'm going to be over here. I wanted to watch it in DVR. I was like, fuck it. And the pay-per-view card wasn't going to be that bad either. So I'm like, cool, whatever. So I ordered it and I DVR'd it with my Dish Latino package. And I ended up watching it afterwards. But I told my dad like that, no spoilers, please. I want to wait until I get home and I can catch it. So he and I haven't had a chance to talk about it, but he both he and I predicted that that it was going to be Spence who was going to come out on top because of his size. You know, we thought, okay, well, the size was going to do it, his power is going to do it, and you know, we're both obviously completely fucking wrong. But yeah, I haven't had a chance to talk to him about it yet. But you best believe that's going to be the first conversation as soon as I walk in the door and I get home.
All right. Andrew, I want to ask about Junior. What did he think about the fight?
Oh, that was it was a bonding fight for me and Junior. Junior at one point said, "Dad, how did he put it? He said something like, 'This is so good, I want to do push-ups.'" Got on the ground, started doing push-ups. That's what he got. Yeah, no, it was a fight we needed. Because I told him what they did to Crawford, that it wasn't right. You know, these guys don't deserve the win because they played this long game bullshit with him. And everything played out how it was supposed to, man. How special Crawford would have looked in 2018, he looked in 2023. I'm sorry, that fight can get no better on what he showed in the ring last night. Once again, the only thing you could say is maybe his defense. You know, yeah, Sugar Ray Leonard and them, you got to be fast. You can't hug Terrence Crawford. So at no point do I think Floyd in the welterweight run would have been able to do 12 with Terrence, because he's not going to allow you just to hug him. And Floyd did a lot of that in the last part of his career at welterweight. So maybe a younger Floyd in a different division we can talk about, but not at welterweight. Trinidad gets outboxed. He gets out. His defense was very limited. So Terrence is climbing here. He's climbing. You need a boxer. You need a Manny Pacquiao like on his toes, fast combos, in and out, good defense. Someone like that to really start with the argument of Terrence Crawford, because last night it's a thing of beauty. The jab, he beat him with the jab. Can we just say that? He really broke this man down.
He really did. He broke him down with the jab.
The jab, man.
I agree. I completely agree.
Right,
well, how long have we talked about this, Andrew? I think like 17 years of the jab is the beast. It's what made Klitschko a beast, right? So the jab is everything.
Yeah. No, and it was just the jab, the counters, the body shots, the well-placed body shots, the angle that he would set up to deliver these punches. It was all a thing of beauty. And I've watched the fight already multiple times. It's all a thing of beauty. Junior's watching it right now. I'm not fucking lying. He turned it on when he woke up.
I've watched it 5 times.
It's that good.
It's literally that good. It is a work of art.
The downhill spiral, or however you want to say it, the roll downhill starts in round 2. So you don't have to wait long for your guy to start winning in this fight. It's like, damn. And then it's just a lot of just jaw dropping. What he was doing in there was jaw dropping. That, you know, haven't seen it in a fight of this magnitude. Everyone talking, and Lee, I'm not disagreeing. But all of you guys with it's going to be boring, there's too much on the line, you guys are all right. Everybody was right to suspect that this fight might be a 12-round boring-ass chess match. Because sometimes when the stakes are that high, that's exactly what it is. But no, not on this night.
You go for multiple fights.
Right? And, you know,
so Al can say, hey, let's go 3 fights.
But Lee, their frustration of what happened to them in the last 5 years came out. If
you break it down, Andrew, so Deontay, you've now got Spence. God damn.
They had in the cruiserweight division, whoever beat Adonis Stevenson, he was with Top Rank. He knocks out Adonis Stevenson, puts him in the hospital, ends his career. You have Lomachenko beat Gary Russell Jr. You have Tyson Fury, who beat Wilder, Inoue, who beat Fulton, Crawford, who beat Spence, Canelo, who beat Plant. And Canelo's not Top Rank, but he's over the table. Another thing you got to look at in all these matchups is how one-sided these fucking fights were. At no point is the matchmaking or the career building of what PBC did with any of these guys have them prepared for the biggest fight of their life. And literally in Deontay Wilder's case, it got worse for him in every fight. The first fight's the closest one, and it's because of 2 punches, but whatever. He won round, in my eyes, he wins round 9 and 12, whatever the fucking one he got the knockdown in late in the fight. And that's why it was a draw. There's no other reason. He's getting his ass handed to him the whole other fight. And then in the second and third fight, they're just worse. They're worse beatings. So
yeah, but it doesn't look good for Spence, basically. Yeah.
It doesn't look good for Spence. I mean, dude, Fulton looked like a deer in headlights. He's not prepared at all. You got Plant fucking asking Canelo, hey, dude, am I good? Round 8. Hey, am I a superstar? What? Do you have any, bro, the guys that said this dude was taking over boxing, he knows how to build Floyd Mayweather's, check yourself, look in the mirror, Top Rank, who owned Mayweather's contract for the 90% of his fucking career, is still making legends. I'm sorry. It was not Al Heyman. Floyd Mayweather, I told you guys this years before. Floyd hated fucking Bob Arum and Oscar De La Hoya so much that he started hyping up his fucking manager to the point where everyone was like, oh, dude, it's Al Heyman. You heard Floyd, it's Al Heyman. It's that. And the guy got so hot, he robbed some investors of $750 million. He's been living off of that forever. The Don King story will happen. We will hear about this later, about how he robbed those investors. He bought airtime. He bought his own tickets. No one gave a fuck about the fights, and he didn't care. Both guys in the main event made $3 million. He was paying outrageous money. Nobody was watching the fights, just spending his investors' money. The great robbery he did there. But no, he is not Bob Arum. PBC is not Top Rank. If we know anything with them losing all of their fights against Top Rank, it's the fact that they're not even winning fucking rounds. Let me tell you something, Spence. You didn't even win a minute. You won a second. You had a combo or two that made you be like, damn, he hit Crawford right there. That's a point. That's a second, bro. You don't win a minute and you don't win a round. And that same shit happened to Fulton. The same shit happened to Wilder. It's getting really embarrassing.
Yeah, Andrew, do you think fucking Bob dropped the ball by letting go Spence? I mean, sorry, not Spence, Crawford.
Yes, I'm going to say yes, because today he would have been laughing, but he would have been broke laughing. And that's the reason why they let him go.
Listen, you don't know. He was a single.
Exactly. No, I agree with you, Bob. He didn't let his pride get in the way of his wallet. Do you understand? You know what I mean, right?
Sure.
Now, what Crawford is going to demand on his next fight is going to determine whether Disney, ESPN, and Bob Arum fucked up on this. If Crawford comes in same price and does $1 million something buys, hey man, yeah, they did. But if Crawford starts saying, no, I want fucking $50 million a fight now, I'm the greatest thing, since Ali or Sugar Ray Leonard. Now Al Heyman
is Andrew,
right?
He is kind of Sugar Ray Leonard level.
Yes, he is. No, hey, listen, that record he's built up there with the undefeated champions. That ain't small, man. And any historian will know those stories behind those champions were all legit. Victor Postal is a legit 28-0, just knocked out Lucas Matisse for the WBC vacant title. That's a legit fight of the number 1 versus the number 2. Julius Ndongu came in with a strong story. Jeff Horn. Anyone see Manny Pacquiao rematch Jeff Horn? Did anyone see the PBC fight Jeff Horn? Jeff Horn gets left the fuck alone because he was a big welterweight that wasn't scared to put hands, head, elbows. He put everything into his fight. No one wanted to mess with that guy. He's building something. And then just the records. I haven't even Yuriorkis Gamboa, undefeated. Jose Benavidez Jr., undefeated. And I know he has someone else that I'm missing. He has like 6 or 7 undefeated fighters on his record right now, leading up to this pound for pound title. Floyd, I think, fought 2 in his whole career, if I'm not mistaken. You can go fact check me on that. But there was always like a little thing over Floyd about how he never fought undefeated guys. He always waited for them to have a defeat. And I'll tell you something else. Did you hear what Showtime, Miguel? I know you didn't. I could tell Miguel, it's virgin ears. Showtime is like, this is the biggest fight. This is Leonard Hearns. This is Hagler. Everything right. They're in. He goes, this is Floyd Mayweather Pacquiao, but these guys don't run. And I was like, damn, Floyd, that's what your legacy is after you leave? These guys don't run. I could have swore they used to call it boxing when he was doing it, but 5 years, 6, 7 years later, it's running. It's fucking running.
Yeah, and so what do you? I'm gonna say, like, as far as pay-per-views buy, do you think it breaks 1 million pay-per-view buys? Do we think it breaks 1 million?
Listen, I got 2 phone calls maybe of people that were buying the fight, so that's good on my end. That at least I had other households calling me saying they had purchased this fight, but I don't know because hey, listen. Oh, here's another one. I was in Hayward at a birthday party. And I seen the poster on a Straw Hat Pizza. They were showing the fight, and I thought that was really weird because Straw Hat used to show a lot of UFCs at this establishment, and you guys the UFC had a huge fight on that night. But on this day, they had Terrence Crawford and Spence up. So I thought that was cool. I hope they got some people there to go watch it. So I really don't know, bro. I didn't hear a lot of good things as far as advertising on the fight from a lot of people that I talked to about this. So I hope it did good. I'm skeptical on breaking 1 million though.
Yeah, because I mean that would make them demand. I mean, I don't know what how the seller or the fucking the fight purses are negotiated the second time around. Like, do they whenever they have some sort of like rematch clause, do they not even talk about money, or do they already talk about money? I guess that sort of depends, right? Because depends on the clause specifically. But like for them to say like, okay, we're gonna put it on pay-per-view again if it breaks X amount of pay-per-view buys or something like that. Because I mean that would be if they broke 1 million, or if they had like a really, really strong pay-per-view, I mean, we anticipate it being high, obviously, right? Because of how the significance of it and who these guys are. And these guys are sort of well-known, not like Ryan Garcia and fucking Gervonta Davis type, 1.4 million. But if it does something like that, it will probably demand more money, or these guys will probably demand more money in the rematch, because they basically have, guaranteed success. They already have a track record. They broke the fucking, pay-per-view, whatever, million pay-per-view buys, if they reach it. But I'm definitely looking forward to Tuesday when those fucking numbers come out to see how many pay-per-view buys they got, because they got my fucking money.
Negotiations usually does not start. Are usually done for the rematch on the first contract. So they might have that figured out already on what the winner takes. And that's why I talked about why didn't Terrence Crawford have on his contract, if I knock you the fuck out, fuck you in your rematch. And I get it that, it's easy money, blah, blah, blah. I get all that. But, man, if I was Terrence, they burned me so much. No, we had our fight. I knocked you out. It wasn't even it really wasn't even a fight. I'm moving on. I'm going after bigger fish. I guess, what he used to like to say. Why not throw it right back at him? Oh no, sorry, homie. It's trap season. You're on the wrong side of the street. It's called the fucking non-champion side. Fuck you. Get out of here. Get out of my face.
Yeah, go back to your horses. Go back to your ranch and your horses, or whatever the fuck it is you said you wanted to buy.
There you go. Hey, I would throw one of his lines right back at him. Exactly.
Can we talk about next weekend?
I might
sure. What's going on?
Yeah, let's give it a try. No, I'm just kidding.
I know with Miguel, we can talk about next weekend. Jake Paul, Nate Diaz. Does Nate have any shot?
He better.
He does. He does. I mean, and even there's been some people that kind of sort of vouch for him, like Mikey Garcia, talking about how he's seen, what's his name, spar. You hear 50-50. You hear what's his name, Eddie Hearn or Tommy Hearn. talking about like, wow, this is gonna be such a one-sided ass whooping. I don't know what the fuck Nate is thinking, you know, because he was on Ariel Helwani's show saying like, dude, this is so one-sided. It's like, and then even Helwani's like, really? And he's like, yeah, this is just gonna be such a one-sided ass whooping. It's like, oh, good Jesus Christ. And then we hear, you know, Mikey Garcia afterwards saying like, no, Jake Paul's gonna be so fucking shocked. He's in for a surprise. He's in for a rude awakening if he thinks he's gonna get, you know, the pity pat shit. So yeah, I mean, does Nate have a shot? For sure he does. I mean, he's a tall, lanky dude. Clearly he's a smaller guy. He looks to be in great shape. Generally speaking, they are in pretty good shape. And at the very least, he's going to be able to, I think, he's going to be able to take Jake Paul's punches. At the very least, that. And you know, I don't know how hard, I guess, Nate punches. You know, we're talking about 8-ounce gloves, right, as opposed to like 4-ounce or 6-ounce for MMA, where he can sneak in punches. You know, sometimes when guys put their hands up to block shots with the small MMA gloves, you can still squeeze the hands in there. You know, the hands will still fit in there and they'll still land. Boxing gloves, not so much, you know, because they're a little bit puffier. So whether or not he's going to have the same pop with, you know, 8-ounce gloves or 10-ounce, I don't know how many ounces they're going to use. Furthermore, I don't know how many rounds they're going to fight. Also, I'm not sure if that's something that's already been decided. I mean, it might have, but
it's 8.
Oh, it's 8. Okay, cool. And yeah, they're like fighting at fucking like 180 some odd pounds, which, you know,
185.
185. Okay, so yeah, what's his name? Nate Diaz. He's only fought, I mean, as high as I remember, 170. Maybe one of his, you know, one-off fights he's fought heavier, but for the most part, the 155 was his primary weight class for most of his career. He has fought at 170, and you know where he made most of his money was probably at 170 as well. But even then, it's still, you know, 15 fucking pounds. And if you look at Jake Paul,
Right.
Jake Paul's pretty fucking shredded. You know what I'm saying? He's pretty like ripped, right? And we know that Diaz is a smaller dude. He's going to be kind of pudgier at that weight class anyway. So yeah, does he have a shot? Of course, yes, he does. How good of a shot? That I don't know.
Andrew Stockton in the house.
Yeah, no, I was ready to go for him until Miguel just gave me all this info right now. Listen, at a certain point, one of the MMA guys has to just stand up and be an MMA fighter. Like I'm like, stop with the bullshit. This guy, you know, I thought it was going to be Silva, and I don't give a fuck what Silva's age was. I thought it was going to be Silva that put an end to this circus act that's going on. Because you can talk about fixed fights and bought decisions or bought fighters, but I mean, you're talking about the whole sport is on your back kind of deal. You're really fixing fights when people are like, hey man, go make a good showing for us. No, I think I'm just gonna take a dive, make us look fucking whack again. Let this guy. I don't like it. So I was ready to go for him, but it sounds like another fixed fight. What the fuck? He only fought 155, maybe 170, but next weekend he'll be 185 at the oldest age he's ever fought in at. That's not good recipe for success when you're going up against Paul, who's chiseled as fuck. The guy looks like he's taking his celebrity boxing really serious, not his pro boxing. Because if you know, he went from a pro boxer back to a celebrity match. So no, he's not taking his pro boxing serious anymore.
Juicing, bro. He's juicing.
So hold on, Andrew. What would be the quote unquote end? Because you know you mentioned it just now. You're like, dude, somebody has to stop this dude. Somebody has to stop him.
Well,
he just
I think
lost
the
to Fury,
Ngannou
right? Tommy
fight,
Fury,
right?
I think Dana White would seriously have to look at putting one of his active strikers, someone that he knows can set it up to where he fights someone that a striker can beat. Like, I get it that the UFC is circled around a lot of other things. To be successful in the octagon, the fighters bring a trait of a lot of other combat technique in the octagon. But you don't got one striker? There's not one guy that can knock him the fuck out? Like, I think we're at that point where can someone raise your hand that wants to knock him out? You're going to make like fucking 10 million. I'll set the fight up. Can we do this? And let's do it and get it over. That's the end game. Now, if it's getting him in the octagon, you're playing with fire there, because if your guy doesn't win, say his striking, which, hello, we've seen people in the octagon get knocked out and never go to the ground. It's not 100% that you're going to the ground every time in the octagon. What if Jake Paul goes in there and knocks your fucking UFC guy out in a fight? Ray Mercer did it, right? Didn't the bell ring? Yeah. Ray Mercer walked to the other side and knocked out Silva with one fucking punch.
Yeah, that was his best shot. I mean, but again, still he got guillotined by Kimbo Slice for fuck's sake. So again.
But you hear me? You don't want that to happen. You don't want.
Right.
You don't want it to be.
No,
like,
if you look at who was it? With why am I drawing a blank?
Which one are we talking? Girls, boys?
No,
yeah.
with oof.
All right, we're gonna move on. So I'll help you out, Lee. I'll help you out. Trust me.
Thank you. But it's
Oh, we're gonna still do this.
Tony and
Coleman. Mark Coleman.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you would have thought the success of that fight would have made Dana White do many more, but he hasn't, Lee. He doesn't, because there's not too many middleweights that come out weighing 30-something pounds to fight for Dana White. So that's why he hasn't put on another James Toney-like performance. Not too many. Maybe he can go get Roberto Duran, Jorge Castro.
James Toney was completely out of his league. Completely out of his league.
But James Toney was a super heavyweight that night, and he was on the pound for pound ranking when he was 160 pounds, or 168, excuse me, at 168. So it was a big difference that night. But whatever the case, Miguel, back to that's the end game. The end game has to be Dana White is fed up with his retired guys, his maybe retired guys. Because, dude, could have swore fucking Diaz was still fighting. He can't be that old if he's still fighting.
Yeah. His recent fight was not that long ago. It really wasn't.
Yeah. So I hope he puts hands on Paul, and I'm just glad Fury won, you guys. I'm dead. See, I was so nervous on that night that, you know what, this kid's gonna get a fucking win against Fury, and then this is gonna continue in the pro. Shout out to Tommy for getting that victory for us in the boxing side, and he's the MMA's problem now. Listen, if I'm Diaz, really pushing for an MMA fight. Maybe that too, Miguel. I remember they had that contract where they might do the double sport thing. I don't know where that's at, if they actually signed.
It's a PFL, because if I'm not mistaken, so if you ever log into to ESPN Plus, you'll see that there is another MMA organization that has a deal with ESPN, and that's the PFL, Professional Fight Leagues, and they try to basically make it more of a like a not a team sport per se, but they try to have a format that is similar to other sports. Like there's a regular season, a playoffs, and then the championship kind of thing, and then you start a new season every so often or whatever the fuck. So they try to use that and go that route, and they're on ESPN Plus, and if I'm not mistaken, Jake Paul has something to do with that. I don't know if he's like some sort of investor or some shit, but he has his money in there somewhere. And at some point, at least that's what it was back then, that was the rumor that he at some point is going to enter the PFL cage. It's not an octagon. I think it's like 10 sides or something, like a decagon or whatever the fuck it's called. But anyway, so I think if that were to happen, because keep in mind Francis Ngannou just went there, and that's the reason he has the ability to fight Fury.
Saudi, right?
Yeah, exactly. Going to the Middle East. So and here's the thing: these guys, PFL, as of right now, as I understand it, they're going to acquire Bellator. Right now, Bellator Fighting Championships is like the second biggest North American MMA organization right now. They're on Showtime. They're on DAZN, etc. So Bellator is pretty big. Last night, as a matter of fact, they had a show where they do cross promotions with like a Japanese organization, and they went over to Japan. Bellator guys fight, Japanese guys over there, and it's a whole cool like little geeky shindig, which I watch as well. But anyway, so PFL, they have some pretty big money, some deep pockets, so they're going to acquire the second biggest MMA organization in North America. So it's kind of a big deal. Those guys have some pretty deep pockets. I would not be surprised if we're going to see Jake Paul in the PFL cage at some point, and some sort of fucking pay-per-view type shit.
Quick question.
Yes.
In the PFL, are they allowed to do submissions on the ground?
Yes. 100%. It's totally MMA. So it's basically UFC, just a different league, so to speak.
Hey, well, Dana missed out on that. UFC's got to be a little nervous about this. I'm not even lying, man, because we know the UFC makes serious money and they're not paying their guys, right? We all heard the $300 fucking million they profit a year, and their payout, their What?
Yeah, the payroll.
Like 38 million, 31 million, some freaking low ass number.
It's like 18% of the total revenue or some crazy shit like that. Like nothing major.
Yeah, they got to be a little bit nervous that they're not going to be able to monopolize this sport anymore. You did see the UFC is bringing in this new belt. I don't know how popular it is.
It's nothing.
Well,
No,
Dana White said that he's going to bring it for a few more fights, which tells me, Miguel, that the guys are frustrated about not getting title shots. So he's doing what boxing had to do, bro. And all right, we'll make this new title, and you guys can fight for that one. Yeah, it's really boxing. When you have a global sport and you have all these men thinking they're Floyd fucking Mayweather or Muhammad Ali, I'm undefeated. Where's my shot? Yeah, man, you might have to say, hey, yeah, we made this new belt. Yeah, it means you're ranked too. Just to make those guys interested. So they might be a little bit nervous that the UFC title might not be the biggest thing in the MMA world anymore. If the PFL, one, they're taking UFC fighters over there and being successful, and two, the money's bigger because we all know Jake Paul talked about giving them raises.
Yeah, and depending on how this pay-per-view, the Zone pay-per-view goes this Saturday with Nate Diaz, if it goes well and it sells a lot of pay-per-views, then the shit gets, because I mean that's the reason we brought it up, right? Because that's the next one in line. We don't get fucking Navarrete and Valdez until the week after. So this weekend we have looking forward to to Jake Paul and Nate Diaz, but that's we can talk about that when we cross that bridge.
Well, I would suggest that Amanda Serrano and Heather Hardy. It's strong, Miguel.
Dude,
undisputed women's heavyweight featherweight championship.
No, if I'm not mistaken, I think they had already fought once, and I think Amanda beat the living piss out of her. So yeah.
Hey, you guys, with Terrence Crawford's background in wrestling, is he the most complete fighter in America?
Well, I don't know how far, because here's the thing. Wrestling is wrestling, right? There's still submissions. You still have to learn how to defend submissions, how to execute them, even if you don't actually know how to do them yourself, but at the very least to be able to defend them, because that is one of the things. And here's to kind of give you, to not go into like, pull out a podium and go into MMA history here, but there are certain periods throughout MMA history where certain disciplines whooped ass for a certain amount of time. They just dominated the fucking thing. And there was a period where Olympic style wrestlers, guys who made it to Olympic trials, even Olympic, guys who made it on the team, were whooping ass in the UFC because they would take you down and just pound the shit out of you. Well, eventually what stopped them was the submission guys. They don't mind getting taken down, and then they end up tapping those motherfuckers out because they don't know shit about submission. So that's the only thing I would say that's left on him, and I certainly don't think that it's foreign to him, to Crawford. I'm sure he's very well familiar with it. How much he's trained in it as far as being able to execute the moves or to recognize them, to be able to defend them, that in itself, I don't know to what extent. I have to assume he knows something, because even though submission is not allowed in wrestling, in collegiate wrestling, because the point is to take your opponent down and to pin his shoulders to the mat. That's the whole point. Or gain points in doing so, gaining dominant positions while you wrestle, right, to get them. So it's not really submissions. It isn't really. It's just putting your opponents back to the mat. So how much he knows about submissions, I don't know. I'm sure with the popularity of MMA and the UFC, he has to know something at this point. How far, I don't know. But that would be the only aspect that's left. If you look at MMA as like a triangle, kind of like, what is it, the food pyramid, right? At the very bottom is going to be wrestling, because that controls where the fight takes place. If you want to take the guy to the ground, you best believe you're going to take him down with a wrestling base. In the middle is some striking, of course, because most fights start on the fucking on the thing. But the submissions ultimately is what ends the fights, besides knockouts, of course. But yeah, how far he knows about knockouts, submissions, I don't know.
Miguel.
My argument.
What
my argument
made Chuck? Hold on. What made Chuck Liddell great?
Well, what made him great was his ability to stay on his feet and not get taken down. To get back up. He every single time he gets taken down, he'd get back up and he knock fuckers out, or guys couldn't take him down to begin with, and he'd fuck him up on the feet. So yeah, in that sense, absolutely, I would agree.
Literal D1 college
wrestler. Yes.
So
yes.
My argument to the MMA world, and this is only about fighters like Terrence Crawford, Vasily Lomachenko, guys that are got the best hands. So I'm talking UFC. I'm not talking the average Joe because I hate when the argument turns into Andrew's defending the.
I got you. Yeah.
All right. We know for a fact you're not just going to reach out and grab these men from the shoulders, right? You're not going to reach. I'm not going to just do a headlock with you and not think Terrence Crawford's not going to throw a hook to your body, an uppercut to your head, or something that we see what he can do to Spence.
Tell you point blank, Andrew, having done MMA, right?
That limits your. I'm just going to walk up and lock.
No. I'm going to tell you the first thing that happens is a strike.
But hear me out. So your only other line of defense against a superior striker is taking him down. You have to shoot. Yeah. You are not going to walk up.
Yes and no. Yes and no. We still have kicks. We still have kicks. Yeah. You can still kick from further than you can punch. So you still have get kicks. You can't forget that.
I'm totally in on the kicks. I know that. I get that. But he has those two things, wrestling and having the baddest hands in the nation.
I would say shoot. I would say shoot, Andrew. I would totally say shoot.
I know that. And now he's a wrestler. And if you miss that shot, now he has the upper advantage, and he's going to either punch you in the ear, in the fucking rib, behind your ribs. Where is this striker?
Well, if you look at the James Toney fight, right? He missed. Right?
No. Did you see last night on what he wasn't missing? It was easier to see what he didn't miss than what he missed, bro. Lee, did you watch him last night?
Yes. I'm a huge James Toney fan.
He got punched and knocked him down. Fucking Spence ripped him with the right hand, right hook. You're down. How about that? Walks right over him. That was fucking ugly.
And then did you see he went over to someone's corner? Like, who was he talking? Was he talking to one of the Charlos or something?
He's talking to Charlo. Yes.
Oh gosh, I hope it's not the same Charlo that got fucking slapped, because that motherfucker got punked twice in one weekend. Jesus Christ.
No, and I found I thought that was weird that he was even at the fight. I don't like seeing the fighters at the fight with big fights ahead of them, but he was there partying up, had his girl and everything. Hopefully they both slept in separate beds that night, but I highly doubt it. That all happened. And you know what? Like I said, man, if I'm Terrence, dude, I'm backing off of the Charlo right after Canelo, because they're going to use that as an excuse. Let him come back and defend his titles on pay-per-view, because we know that Zoo is going to be on pay-per-view in Australia. They'll do the fight, I believe, in Australia, if I'm not mistaken. Is that where the fight was going to take place?
Zoo's account. All right. So with a complete counter offer, I think Zoo's a counter puncher like his dad.
Hey, Lee, could you imagine if he gets the belts off of Charlo, though, how big he's going to be out there? It's a bigger fight than Charlo. It's
a huge fight. It's a huge fight. And by the way, I was there for Jake the Snake, right? I was there at the fight. When Zoo won the original fight. And IBF, Miguel?
Yeah, IBF, yep. Junior Welter, yep.
What a beast. What a beast. And I bet against him.
Maybe his first fight will be Spence at 154 while he waits for all that other bullshit to go through.
Damn. If PBC is willing to go that route, because I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, Tim Tszyu is on Showtime, and I think he's a PBC dude. So if they're willing to go that, if they saw what what Crawford did to Spence, they're like, oh shit, maybe we won't go that route, and let's talk up this fucking wrong side of the street again or something to kind of keep that. Because imagine that dude, Jesus Christ, he has PBC like shaking in their boots. He's just taking names, checking the fucking dudes, checking off the list. And if he ends up some point ends up fighting, either Charlo or fucking Tszyu at 154 and takes their belts, God damn. I don't think after this, I'm not even sure if the PBC is willing to do that again with Crawford.
Hey, you guys.
I would be
you guys,
terrified if I were the PBC at this
you have
moment.
to go back. You have to go back and watch the faces of Charlo and Keith Thurman during this fight. Keith Thurman looks fucking scared. He doesn't like what's going on. And Charlo is just so mad. He is so mad at what's going on in the ring. And then when Crawford goes at him twice, I think he goes at him after the fight too. When he's standing on that second rope, he's talking to Charlo again on that side of the ring. But yeah, you can clearly see these guys are falling apart during the fight. Their faces like, fuck, man, fuck.
Well, no, you like literally, if you look at it, Andrew, right? So they lost to a Fury, right? They lost to the welterweight crown. They're crumbling. Oh my God, are they crumbling?
And not only are they taking, well, I got to just keep going back to, I want to see the tweets about the scorecards, about you guys are getting blown, and like you guys aren't ready. They ain't ready. I love that.
Well, same thing for Fury, right? So Fury in the last fight, Andrew, it was a shutout.
They all were shutouts. Lee, so far, all of their crossover fights have been really bad for them. Like the guys don't look ready. Last night, Spence did not look ready for the pound for pound guy. He literally built the last 5 years on preparing himself for Terrence fucking Crawford. He knew that the last door he was going to open for his title run was Terrence motherfucking Crawford, and that's what you and your trainer had. That's what you guys came out.
Have you guys seen the scorecards or no? I'm looking at them right now. Have you guys seen them?
Yes. They've got to be a shutout.
So the one judge gave the first round to Spence. It was Tim Cheatham, and then the rest to Crawford.
Tim Cheatham is a complete douchebag.
And then David Sutherland, the other one, he gave one round to Spence. It was round 3. And then everybody else, of course, gave it to Crawford. And then that's it. Basically, those are the only 2 rounds, at least officially, that Spence won. 2 different rounds, round 1 and round 3, according to 2 different. It was different rounds. 2 fucking judges couldn't even agree on which one it was.
Wait, hold on. Why didn't they get what's her name's?
Didn't matter. It didn't matter. They could have.
No, who's dead? Who's dead, Andrew?
It was over, Lee. They went knockout.
No, yeah, it didn't matter. But it just, I kind of wanted to see what they actually had it going, like if they gave Spence any rounds at all. Because I mean, on my scorecard, it was a fucking complete shutout. So.
Yeah, no, and I thought the first round, they were being hella generous there. You know, it was a Showtime PBC thing, so they were pushing for Spence to win this thing. And seriously, Spence has given the PBC some great moments. The Garcia fight, the Porter, even the Ugas was a throwdown. He's thrown down with all of these guys. He's gotten hurt, come back, won the fight, won it convincingly. There's really no, that was, bullshit call on their part. No, none of that. They all had him pound for pound. He had it all going into last night. And no, dude, I haven't seen it. He ranks up there with the best. He jumped. He frog leaped. Is that how they say it? A few fighters in America last night. Look, number 1. De La Hoya's documentary. Hey, listen, you guys, real fast. Lee, I know I got to go soon, but I got to tell you, did Oscar De La Hoya save boxing for HBO, bringing it back to HBO? Miguel, did you hear what happened?
Technically, yes.
Miguel, did you hear what happened?
I did not. Are you referring to his fight with Floyd or who?
No. We're talking about the Golden Boy on HBO.
Right, the documentary, yeah.
Yeah.
So it dropped on Monday, I believe it dropped, and HBO announced it is the most watched documentary they've ever produced. That's over Tiger Woods. It's over Michael Jordan. I forget who else they had on the list, but do you think HBO is missing? Was it enough for HBO to say we should just look at if they want to come back?
No, I don't think so. I wish, because goddamn, these fucking announcers. And I've said this many times before. Even if HBO never comes back into the boxing business, if they had HBO, like I know they have HBO Max, but if they had some sort of streaming services that is like $3.99 a month or some shit that had the entire library of their fights over the course of 40 fucking years, dude, I would gladly pay that shit just to go back and watch those fights from HBO. Because sometimes you can pull them up on YouTube, but they'll be like different commentators, like the top ranked commentators or some shit. I'm like, no, I want to hear Lampley, I want to hear Merchant, or I want to hear fucking Tompkins, or whoever the fuck it is. I want to hear those guys. That's how I want to hear it, or in its original broadcast. So anyway, I don't think so. I mean, come on, now 40 years after 40 fucking years, and they said no, we're done with this thing. I don't think this one documentary is gonna get them back into it. Maybe it kind of piques their interest, but to say like someone's actually gonna give it the green light, I doubt it. Damn. Well, trust me, I wish, because I'm on that same boat, but fuck no.
Yes. It got the most views. I started it last night. It was very boring to me. I didn't really hear anything that I didn't know. There was some good footage of Oscar Young in the amateurs, and you see his parents, and they're there cheering. And he hasn't thrown his mom under the bus yet. And I was good through a good portion of the first. I think I'm almost at the end of the first one. That's why I kind of told my wife after. I was like, I didn't really, after she woke me up because I started falling asleep. I really didn't hear him talk too bad about his mom or his father yet. And dude, he has like some corny ass stories, bro. Like, oh, these dogs are chasing me when I was running in the morning and I had to jump on a fence and my hands were just bleeding. And then they go on to a new segment. It's like, all right, well, what happened? Did the dogs attack you? Did the owner come and say, hey, Fido, get over here? And dog walked away and you went home with a little cut on your hand? Like, what the fuck? That's not it's not a bad story. You know what I mean? Where you're like, damn, dude, his dad, Roy Jones Jr. father, threw him in the fucking ocean. Okay? That's what I'm talking about here. He was 2 miles off the shore and said, swim home. That's child abuse. Okay? You running in your neighborhood and the neighborhood dog chases you up a fence is something that happens to kids on a summer day. So the stories are kind of corny. I don't know what to think of this shit yet. We'll see. I'm going to finish it. We'll see what the part 2 is. But yeah, I wasn't like super blown away. And I'm actually happy because when you go off of Oscar's interview that he did on that podcast the other day, it looked like he was about to say his mom was, one of the most evilest person. And they go in heavy on his mom being the story of Oscar's career. That's why it's going to be, because they have hella footage of Oscar saying, it's my mom, I promised my mom, when my mom's dying, my mom, all the way up to it. Now, all of a sudden, she's the one that was smacking you every day. And we'll see.
Thanks for listening to Fight Net Radio and the Andrew Labouche Show.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Thank you, Lee. No, Lee. Lee, at some point, man, hey, we knew from the very beginning they were running from, bro.
Mm-hmm,
all of them. You know what?
Last night confirmed it. Yeah.
Last night was a thing of beauty. It was a thing of beauty.
It was great, Andrew. You killed it. Literally, you killed today's episode. Am I wrong, Miguel?
No, absolutely right. I'm looking forward to I guess what we have to talk about next week after Diaz and Jake Paul. But we'll for the time being, this weekend is owned by Crawford.
Hey, and to end that story, I'm going for Diaz, you guys. Yes, he's from Stockton, but we got him out of our hair. I want the shit to be over with, this whole celebrity thing. So I will be pulling for Nate Diaz on.
Are you gonna pay for it, Andrew?
Fuck no. Come on, Lee. Come on, Lee. No, I can't. I just spent $85.
I know. Yes, exactly. I was just gonna say that. It's like I just dropped 85
money on Spence and Crawford.
Yeah, it was hard. It was like, man, these guys, they're hitting us. It's $100 almost to watch this thing, but whatever. I did it. They deserve. Hey,
yeah, I added to the bill. It's like it'll bill me later. Fuck it.
Yeah, Christina knows how to work
All
that out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
What a great show.
Mm.
Wow. Wow. This is the Andrew show. Enjoy. Anything you want to add, Andrew?
No, darn it. I'll probably think of something after I hang up. But no, it's just a good it was a good week, man. This is a good week. We've been spoiled.
It was so great.
Lee,
Between
Fulton.
NOA and Crawford and Sinicia and God damn, what a great week.
Yeah. And then like Miguel said, we got Valdez and
and Navarrete, yeah, in a couple of weeks.
in 2 weeks, man. Another very, very good matchup. So yeah, we were definitely spoiled in 2023.
Oh, I was wrong about 2023. I was completely wrong. Thank you, everyone.
Except Fury, Lee, you're still right on that one.
Oh, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Thank you, everyone, for listening to Fight Net Radio.